Welcome to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Tune in for everything you need to know regarding the automotive industry. Here's your host, Jason Harris.
Hey, what is going on, Automotive Nation? Hey, I'm Jason Harris, and thank you for taking some time to come listen to this amazing conversation. I've had a blast having these conversations because, I get to have them not only with some friends, all right, but just some seriously amazing minds in our industry. And look, the whole point of this conversation is get you ready for NADA, the Super Bowl of events. It really is. It's in Las Vegas, and we're talking today with the one, the only, the oh so famous. He paid me to say that. Michael with Proactive Training Solutions. Michael, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great, Jason. How you doing? This is fantastic. Thank you for having me here.
Oh man, I'm excited to get into today's conversation. We are going to have an absolute blast. Me and Michael were talking a little bit before we started recording today, guys, and I think we got some great topics for you. And look, this is one of the largest events out there. We want you to come prepared. We were just talking, this is my 23rd, I think. Michael, I think you're in the teens.
I was in the high teens. Yeah, I think it's like, I was thinking about this since we talked, like probably like 16, 7, something like crazy.
Man, can you I'm just curious. Okay. You know me, I love finding rap holes. Let's just start off the conversation with today. First, just a quick little intro for the people out there that don't know who you are. And then just tell me maybe some of the memorable NADAs that you remember in the past. So let's start off with an intro and then maybe a couple NADA stories.
Sure. Yeah. I think so. I'm Michael Renaud. I have the honor and privilege to be the CEO of Proactive Training Solutions, company that has been in the automotive training space for over 30 years now. Alan Ram started this company with a focus of how do I get all the activity from outside of the showroom in, and we still do that today, focusing on just how do you drive all that traffic, all those opportunities that you're paying for, get them into your showroom. A little else about me. I live in Long Island, New York. I got a wife and 2 wonderful children. And when I'm not doing this, I'm with the kids. So some NADA stories. Well, let me tell you, I got to start off with last year's NADA. I mean, that's one.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
I mean, between the snow and, I remember one morning waking up and just freezing out, but I had like this deck off my room and music was playing and bands were playing. Like New Orleans is always a fun city, but not one for NADA. I will always never forget that. And then I will remember another NADA. God, this was about first year I took over this company. Mm-hmm. I brought all the team out. We had a booth. We gave away hot sauce and everyone got super excited about it. And it was all fantastic. But I got together with Pete Peterson, who was running Dealers United at the time.
Oh, yeah.
And Pete and I were super close, and we decided we're going to get our teams together and do like a little dinner team building activity while we're in Vegas. Mm-hmm. And he and I are on the phone together before kind of planning it. And he's like, you can go down zip lining down Fremont Street. I'm like, sure, let's do that. Right. And I'm just like jumping in, like someone will say no at some point and this won't happen, right? Well, come the day, there we are up on the platform, and I am not good with heights. I can fly in a plane, I can do all that stuff, but like the edge, like just standing on the edge, I can't deal with that. So I'm standing there, and Pete's like starting to look nervous, and I'm looking at him, and I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, this guy's really nervous. Like it looks like as nervous as I am. And finally, I look at him, I'm like, why the did we do this? And he just looks at me and goes, I don't know. I thought you were going to say no. So there we go. We get up on the thing where they're strapping us all in. The big doors start to open, and all of a sudden they go, wait, stop it right at the last second. They close the doors. And do they come over who has a busted harness? Me. Like,
no way. That's crazy. Oh my
gosh. It was classic, like still a story we tell today of just like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. And then like, oh my God, what am I doing? But that's what we do in this business. And those are, NADA always has great memories. And that's
NADA's always fun. I always get some great ones. Some I definitely, by the way, guys, I cannot share with you at all. I'm trying to think if I could I change the names where you still wouldn't know who I was talking about? I don't think I could. I don't think I could. So there are definitely some stories, guys, that obviously cannot be shared. For a lot of you guys know, I started doing about 10 years ago, I started doing a series called The Drive with Jason. And I drive these cars around in Vegas during NADA. I'd pick up guests and we drive around and do that. And this one year we were like, man, we gotta do a classic car. I was like, yeah, that'd be fun. Let's do a classic car. So we rented a 1956 T-Bird convertible.
How cool.
How cool, right? You would think it would be. Well, and you guys, by the way, I'm in 1956. The coolest feature on this thing was a power seat. and just a little insights. Bing Crosby was the spokesman for the 19
for that car.
T-Bird, yeah, yeah, he was
Awesome.
Right? So here's the thing with these cars: they are air cooled, and in Vegas it gets hot. Even during NADA, it can still get very hot. All right, and this car overheated every single time we drove it up the strip and down. So here's what I had to. Nobody ever saw this on camera because we edited it all out. We would literally have to drive up the strip. We'd have to pull into a dark alley, pop the hood, let it cool off for 15 minutes, get back in the car, and drive right down the strip. Just so we can finish
do it all over again.
Do it all over again. So that's why, if you guys wonder why you've never seen me in a classic car again, that is why you've never.
Yeah. That's why Jerry does it with his own collection.
Exactly.
You got to build your own collection, Jay.
Yeah, well, one day, right? One day, Michael. We're gonna do that. All right, Michael. We got some great topics. I want to get into this. The first one, I think, was a great one, and I'd love to kind of really just dive into this. We were talking about reviewing. For dealers out there that are attending the show, really taking a moment to look yourself in the mirror, be honest, and review your current customer experience. Can you elaborate a little bit, Michael, what you mean by that?
Yeah, let's talk about it. NADA is an opportunity for you to improve your store.
Yes.
It's an opportunity through the educational classes, the vendors on the floor, dinners, meetings, OEMs, all of those things. Is your objective as an owner, a GM. Yeah, there'll be parties. We're going to do a lot of fun stuff. I'm sure there's some cool concerts and, all of those things that are happening, right? But at the same time, at the end of the day, this is your investment in your dealership, and it's your opportunity to walk away with key things that are going to help you be successful in 2026. And the key to success in 2026 is looking at your current customer experience, looking at it, understanding it from the moment you are with your marketing spend to generate a lead, all the way around to that first service experience, and then back all the way back around to the next purchase, right? What is that experience like? I was telling Jason before we got on, I broke my phone and had to go to the Apple store the other day. And it's always weird walking into the Apple store when you have an appointment, because the staff is always running around, or there's always someone who's talking to someone else, and you always feel like you're bothering someone. But once you finally okay, I'll bother them, and they'll scan my thing and then tell me to wait over there, and that's what I do. But once I sit and wait over there, and within a couple minutes, someone comes over to me and is like, hey, Mr. Renaud, how are you? Yep. Hey, can we look at your phone? And they hook up this great device and does all this analysis on my phone. He's like, listen, of course, clearly the front and back screens are broke, but actually your speaker is also broken. I have all three parts in. This was like 12:30. He's like, come back at 3:30. Your phone will be all ready.
What a beautiful.
I was in my car at 3:40.
See, it's that type of linear experience, and I say linear, guys. And for the ones out there watching and listening right now, and you guys have watched my podcast in the past, I've talked a lot about the linear experience and how I just, it's one of the things that really just kind of grinds me, is that unfortunately sometimes we use certain technologies that actually will create mountains and valleys in the customer in the actual buying experience, right? When it really shouldn't be the objective. The objective should be a very clean, linear. Even to your point, like when you came in, it looked like it was chaotic. You're not quite sure who to talk to, but once you did, all of a sudden, boom, this experience kicked in. And look, guys, that all comes from I've talked about this a lot. Is people in your process, and I think that's what you guys got to do. Take a look at 2025. All right. Identify some spots inside your experience that you would like to improve. The first thing I would do is audit your people in your process. Make sure you have the right people in the right process. Then I would reverse backwards. If you're going to be coming to NADA, look at the educational, go through it, guys. There are godly amount of workshops and sessions you can go to. Look at those and see if any of them speak to the part of the experience that you'd like to address. After that, this gets you very, very equipped and ready to go find the technology or the solution or the partner like Michael that's going to help you achieve a better experience. Mike, I'd love to ask if you anything you'd like to add to that about.
Yeah, of course. So I think what's important about like the customer experience, like that Apple, right?
Yeah.
What did we see with that Apple experience? I saw an Apple salesperson, whatever they call themselves, customer experience person. He had a tablet. That tablet was connected to everything that was going on in the store and in my process specific to me, right? Our CRM is that. We don't need tablets. We don't need fancy things. We just need tools to help our teams move through these processes, right? And understanding how they're interacting with customers. And most importantly, where are they creating friction and problems in the process, right? Yeah. Apple could probably solve that people walking in and being confused about their next steps problem if they just put a scanner right there and I could just scan my barcode and then, put in what table I'm sitting at, no different than like Target when I pull up to it. And then someone comes over, are you Michael? Yeah, I'm Michael. Okay, great. Right. It's understanding that. And that's the mirror you're talking about, Jason, that we need to be on and give an honest look at how we are doing this. How many of you call your store? Just call it. Yeah. Pretend to be a customer, submit a lead, pretend to be a customer, journey through your website. I was with a client the other day. He's complaining. His BDC is really complaining. They're not getting phone calls. The phone's not ringing. I'm like, let's go look at your website. So we start going through the website and literally every place is a form fill after form fill after form fill. There was nowhere on his website for click to call. No wonder you're not getting phone calls. Right? You're driving unless you drive that customer experience and know where you're landing, where you're ending up, where your call to actions are, what's driving people to your site, right? In which way, right? Right. I know I convert better over the phone than on the internet. Why am I spending all this money to drive internet leads?
You know what? I'm glad that you brought that up. And you guys know I've done many podcasts on this, and sometimes I find this soapbox and I might get on it right now. All right. But I'm going to tell you guys that, over a decade, I've been yelling about this, and I'm still going to continue to yell about this, guys. Stop buying engagement.
Yes.
Okay. Stop buying it. I don't care. Google will want to sell you it all day long. Okay. Meta would love to sell you it in drones, just piles and piles and piles of engagement, guys. None of that freaking matters. Exactly. All right. We as an industry need to shift our mindset. And maybe this is something you guys need to do for NADA, and this going into NADA, one of the mindsets that you want to change. Stop counting how many leads you have and start counting how many conversations you're in. Because at the end of the day, I don't give a crap if you got 5,000 conversations, because if you're only in a couple hundred, or 5,000 leads, because if you're only in a couple hundred conversations, it doesn't mean anything. Conversations is key to bringing people into the dealership. I'm sure you would agree here.
No, I agree 100%. And the problem is there's very, very, very few clients I walk into that couldn't cut their lead traffic by 20-25% right then and there and still 100%. And get better results. It proved this summer, Jason. Go back and look at lead statistics as an industry. Okay. Yes. I can just see it through my clients. When those lead counts drop in 2025, July and August, conversion rates bounced high.
Yeah.
Why? Because staff had time to do follow-up. They weren't just drinking out of that faucet, right? I have a client right now, okay? 50%, you get this, 50% of their new car sales come out of their service drive. Imagine the pressure that's taking off your ad budget and your lead conversion process.
100%.
Right. But I go into the best run stores. What do you guys sell at a service drive? I don't know, like 10, 20 cars. How many people come through there, customer pay warranty on average a day per month? Oh, I don't know, 125, 150.
But Michael, that same dealership had 5,000 leads and sold 50 cars.
Exactly. And screaming at the BDC manager, screaming at everybody, why can't you convert these leads, right? We need to be, as an industry, we have to stop focusing on this lead to sold. This lead to sold is a number that's, 10%. I'm good. I'm at 10%. The industry's at 12. Who cares? The number we need to be looking at is lead to appointment. That's the number. That's right. Trickle down economics.
Well, and think about it. What does it take to get to an appointment? You had to have a conversation.
Right.
Okay? So, like, think about that, guys. Look, if your objective, and I think that's what's happened over the last decade, is that our objective had turned from actually wanting to have conversations with people to just wanting to generate a lead. And because people are going to say, "Oh, Jason, that's not true." Really? I challenge you to go look at any dealership's website. You're going to find 13 different call to actions. And guess what? None of them have to do with actually getting into a conversation.
No.
All you have to do is give me your first name, last name, email address, blood type, shoe size, firstborn, just for the opportunity for that to get stuck in a CRM and you to receive an email saying, "Thank you for your time, but we don't respect it. We'll get back to you whenever the hell it's convenient for us, not when it's convenient for you." Anyways, I'll jump off.
No, you don't. You're spot on correct, Jason. Like that's the state of where we are with this, and why the customer is feeling where they are, and why they feel the way we do as an industry. It's why the customers are running to brokers and Carvana and all that stuff, because they're answering their question. How many salespeople and BDC reps, right, get a lead in, and all of a sudden they're just like, "When can you come in? When can you come in?" Guess what?
Let's put a ring on it. Yeah.
Right. The customer's mind is going, "Listen, dude, if I wanted to just come in, I get in my car and come there. I don't need your permission to show up at your store. The reason why I'm calling is because I have an agenda here of stuff that I want to take care of before I show up at your store. So, let's play along." And then what happens is salespeople lay down, answer a question, customer asks, salesperson answers, customer asks, salesperson answers, customer hangs up. Instead of the salespeople acknowledging the fact that everyone calling me has an agenda, but I'm the professional, and if I ask the right questions, I will find a car for this person on my lot. And if I do ask the right questions, I'll answer their questions at the same time.
Well, and I agree with you. And I think anybody out there watching and listening, there's going to be some great workshops. There's going to be some great educational opportunities to go learn about this. You can always swing by Michael's booth, all right, because he will 100% have a conversation with you about this. And we're very passionate. As you can tell, we are both very, very passionate about you getting away from the mindset of leads and the mindset of, optimizing conversations. And because we're not just talking about conversations over the phone, conversations via text message, conversations via email, conversations in your service department, conversations in person, like the guys I'm working with right now. Like, these are all places that we have to optimize, all right, to make it better. Look, here's a funny thing, guys, is that we actually didn't have a plan to go down this rabbit hole. We actually had a couple other topics we were going to, but I think this is actually one of the best rabbit holes that we can go down. I think anybody out there watching this right now who's going to NADA and get prepared for this, you guys really need to think, am I just buying leads, or am I creating a culture that wants to have conversations? Guys, look, I'm going to hand this over to Michael real quick, but some of you may or may not know, all right, there was one job I had before I started selling cars. Only one. Okay. And that was, I worked at this old place called Radio Shack. I know. I just dated myself. Michael's laughing.
That's all right. I know it. I shopped there many a time.
But Michael, what was their motto? You have questions.
Right. We have answers.
We have answers.
Right.
I don't know at what point in time we lost this. Anyways, I'd love to get your thoughts on that, dude.
Well, I think it's really true, right? The customer does have questions, but we run away from the answers.
100%.
We're scared of the answers because we don't get the support, all these things that happen around the store that cause me not to want to have the answer. I get told you can't give price, but you have prices all over your website. Don't give them numbers, but we have digital retailing on our site and convert and payment calculators and all of those things, right? We got to stop running away from these things, and we got to start driving the conversation to a place that answers the customer and help them. Right now, here's a perfect example of like how we tie all this together, Jason, right? We got customers all over the place. Dealers everywhere are getting a thing called OTD price, out the door price.
Yes.
Okay. Where's it coming from? It's coming from ChatGPT.
Yep.
All right. ChatGPT is saying, listen, because it's just a device that strings words together. If I ask them, how don't I get screwed in a car deal? It's going to say, ask for out the door price. So now every dealer in America is freaking out over OTD instead of hitting it head on, going, I'm so glad you're asked. We're a fully disclosure dealership. We're fully transparent. We have no hidden fees. You have absolutely nothing to worry about. When you come in here, I'm going to give you a fully out the door price. But here's a question that's super important. The car you're driving now, is that something you're going to consider in, right? We're leaving out half the car deal, which is their trade. So understanding when we go to NADA and we're looking at where are we struggling, right? We got to go, okay, these are the places. We're not saying the right words. We're not using technology the right way.
100%.
We're not helping solve a customer's problem. So I think if you're going to NADA, right, and you're thinking about how do I choose the right technology for my customers and for my business, you have to go at it from the point of view of, am I solving my customers' problems? And my customer's problem is they need to get into a new car, and they only make about $60,000, $70,000 a year, and a new car's 50.
It's tough, right?
It's tough. And unless we go into the NADA with that mindset of how am I creating customer experience that is frictionless, that is smooth, and that is one that my staff is not freaking out over and embracing and addressing things head on and being in control. And how does technology help all that happen? Everything else is just a waste. Every
Absolutely.
other piece of technology doesn't matter. You can buy the best things in service to screen your cars. You can best all the trade appraisal tools you want and everything else. But if you're not using technology and words to get customers through the door, and you're not using your experience at NADA to make sure that that part of the process is shored up, sure, go look at all the other vendors. Go look at the car washes, go look at all that stuff, but you have to be there in the mindset of, does this solve my customer experience problems? Does this help me solve my customers' problems?
No, you're absolutely right, Michael. You want a well-rounded experience. Guys, look, I've consulted with many thousands of dealerships over my career. All right. This last year, I physically stepped into over 367 dealerships.
Awesome.
Bit of a headache.
Yeah.
Wow. I'm not gonna lie. Like, don't get me wrong, guys. You're watching the show, so I know you're not one of these. You're a great operator because you're watching the show. All right. But I'm going to tell you right now, guys, I'm fundamentally wasn't impressed with the level of talent in our industry. And what I mean by that is the commitment to the experience, like me and Michael are talking about, guys. It is a commitment. And I'll tell you right now, when a department's not doing well, every single time I've ever done a department audit, it is usually because one of these three things are not imbalanced: your people, your process, and your technology. Sometimes it's all three. Sometimes it's just one of them. Sometimes it's two of them. All right. But there's a total lack of balance. Look, Michael, I know we're getting towards the tail end of our conversation.
Yeah.
And we're going to have to save some of this because me and you are going to do an in-person podcast at NADA.
Not in a car.
Not
in a classic car, at least.
Not this time. Everyone keeps asking me, are you going to do the car? Are you going to do the car? I'm like, guys, this is the first year. I know I'm not doing the car. Logistically, because I just wanted to do, guys, I got 27 podcasts booked.
That's so cool.
And so I wanted to logistically figure out how we could actually do that. So that's what we're doing this time. I might change it next year. Who knows? But
okay.
Hey, for everybody out there watching and listening right now who would love to connect with you, Michael, and learn more about Proactive Training Solutions, what's the best way to connect, and where can they find you at NADA?
Yeah, super simple. Michael@allenram.com. Just reach out to me there on my email. I'll give you my cell phone, 917-279-6684. You can always do that. Or Proactive Training Solutions. There's a chat box in the corner. Just chat in there. Reach out to me in any way. We'll schedule a time at NADA and get together.
Awesome. I love it. Hey, for everybody out there watching, we appreciate you. You're a game changer because you took the time to watch this. Now, hey, look, one of the biggest compliments you can give us as content creators is share the show. I'm not going to sit here and go, I want you to smash the subscribe and uppercut the like button, because guess what? I know you're not going to do it. But if you got a friend or manager or colleague that needs to see some portion of today's conversation, one of the biggest compliments you can give us as content creators is share the show. It means a lot to us. Hey, Michael, thanks so much for taking the time to jam today. This has been a blast, and I will see you next week.
I'll see you next week in Vegas. All right,
thanks, guys.
Jason. Thanks, everybody.
Thanks for tuning in to the Strategy with Jason podcast. Your host, Jason Harris. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe.